Hello world, welcome back to my channel. My name is BB. If you haven't been here before, welcome. If you have, thank you for coming back. Today's video is basically a rundown of my and my family's 2022 so far. Some of you guys know that just like through my Instagram posts and my Snapchat that I recently lost my mother, and some of you know that's actually been even more loss before my mother. So I'm just gonna run down 2022 and you guys will kind of understand why this year it hasn't been consistent me on being in YouTube because of the certain things that have happened. I will say, if this is your first video watching of me, it's me talking, but in a way it's not me. And you'll understand why once I explain everything that's been happening, how my year has been. So, further ado, let's get into this. Like I said, rundown of 2022. We're gonna start in January. I think I made a plan to start like being consistent and filming stuff, so which I started doing and like doing my vlogs. And then I don't know if I spoke to you guys, but around the ending of January, once like everyone came back from Africa, remember everybody came back from Africa, but around the ending of January, I may have not vlogged that, but we had COVID, me and Elle. So we were quarantined. Okay, boom, cool. Fast forward to February when Minnow got back, and y'all saw that with I had that like one capture thing for my thumbnail with me with all the stuff. So Minnow came back. And okay, so I remember I was doing weekly vlogs, so I'm filming my vlogs. Okay, so this one day, me and my mom were chilling, and I get this like sharp pain in my stomach to where like I dropped down to my knees, and like my mom was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Let's go to the hospital. Let me call 911. Like, you don't look okay." And I was like, "Nah, Mom, like I'm cool." I don't know why I always do stuff like that, but I remember like when I fell through the attic. You remember that story? Like I was like the same thing. I was like, "Oh no, we don't have to go to the hospital. Like it's fine." So the same thing with this. I was like, "It's cool, whatever." So then later on, it went away. Like it was just a sharp pain. I was like, maybe it's just my period coming or something. But I mean, it was unbearable. So then later on that night, everybody went to bed and me and my mom were chilling, and I decided to go upstairs and pee on a stick. And come to find out, I was pregnant. Wow. Like this was like at midnight. Elle was sleeping, Nana had stayed over the night, she was sleeping, my mom was on the person downstairs. I ran downstairs immediately and showed my mom my pregnancy test, and it was like pregnant. And I was like how is that possible? Like that, like I did, like caught me off guard. So she was like, "Oh, that's great." Like, so my mom was like, "Okay, so let's just wait. You schedule an appointment and see." Like, cause automatically I was like, "Mom, but like, I don't want to get too excited about it because, miscarriage is always thing." I'm the type of person to where I always think negative about a situation, especially like if it comes to me. Like I'm always thinking negative. So I'm thinking first pregnancy, a lot of people always have miscarriage, so expect that. And I work in an OBGYN, so I'm putting that in my head, like expect that, So then, me, I got a hair in my mouth because I could not tell like Nene, the boys, like Elle, like I can't not tell them. So I think this was a Sunday. So I went to work Monday, Tuesday. No. I don't know. I feel like
haven't had my days lined up, but I know I. Oh, okay. I was going to school. I don't know why I'm out in the early morning. But so Monday, Tuesday, I literally kept like using a pregnancy test to like see if this is real. 3 days straight. I mean, I'm talking like, and these pregnancy tests be like $20, like $15, like expensive. So yeah, I went there and kept checking it. Still coming up positive. So I called that Tuesday, made an appointment. I was like, hey, yeah, you know, pregnant, whatever. First pregnancy, whatever. So then my mom was like, okay, let's just wait till 4th appointment to tell people. That was like in another 3 weeks. I was like, Mom, I don't think I can wait. So then, filming my vlogs is regular, you know, recording like everything. So then what I did was, I did like a reveal in a way, like to tell Nana I was pregnant, and to tell my brothers I was pregnant, and to tell Mata, Kina, and Bintu that I was pregnant, and Edgy that I was pregnant. So I got these little cute cups that said, you know, best friend 1995 to auntie 2022. I wish I could show you guys those clips, but like there's no point in it, like in a way, because like I want to like, my plan was to combine it all together, so that's why I haven't showed those clips yet, and that's why I kind of stopped vlogging. But yeah, so we got that, boom, pregnant. Everyone was happy, we were great. Y'all, the first 3 months of pregnancy, this is why I couldn't vlog anymore, because I was so sick, like so sick. I could not handle it at all. What? That it was real. So I mean, it was so real to the fact I think I lost like 20 to 25 pounds, almost 30 pounds I lost in those 3 months. And like I was going to the hospital to get fluids because I couldn't keep even water down. Like that's how serious it was. It was kind of good that I was losing weight because, you know, I was been a big girl, but at the same time it was like I just want to eat good. Like to the fact that my mom gave the baby a nickname and his name was Henry, because like literally I would throw up like anything I eat, like somebody that gets drunk, like drunk, and you just drink something and then like instantly like you throw up because you're so like drunk. So that was basically me. Anything, as soon as I put it in my mouth, I'm like, ugh. So yeah, we had to live with that for 3 months. And then my body, for most of the time, I could not do nothing. Like I was so lazy. Until at night is when I would get like really like boom, 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 boom. I could do whatever I like, you know. And when I was doing my internship too as well. So yeah, three months go by. Fast forward, we're in May. So fast forward to May. At this point, like I'm almost 4 months pregnant. Beginning of May, we're like, yes, May or whatever. You know, I already know what I'm having. I'm having a boy. I was like, yes, May or whatever, you know, May. You know, May 1st is Elle's birthday, May 3rd is Nana's birthday, and then May 6th is my birthday. So we're like, you know, Taurus game. Okay. So May 1st we did Elle's birthday. My mom cooked some super for him, you know, it was great. And then May 2nd it was Eid, because, you know, we fasted the month of Ramadan. Okay. Great Eid, we had fun. May 3rd, I get off of work for my internship at the time. I get off. On the way, and Fala calls me, and he's like, your dad's been in an accident. I was like, okay. In my head this whole time, I was in the car with Pa. I was like, oh, okay. Don't tell me I'm going to have to go get that man. Like, I'm too tired. You know? 'Cause I'm pregnant, and I'm doing this internship. Like, I'm tired. So he was like, yeah, but it was like a really bad accident to where they have to airlift him. Or I think that's what he said. Airlift him to Charlotte. I was like, oh. And basically he was telling me, he's like, can you call Ma and tell her? Because I don't know what to say. Or he was like, can you like call the police and like get more understanding what's happening? I was like, okay. So I hang up with him. He gives me the officer's number to call. I talk to the officer. He's like, yeah, your dad's in an accident in Gastonia. You know, we're going to have to medevac him to airlift him to the Charlotte, because that's the closest trauma hospital. I was like, okay, so what is wrong? He's like, well, basically his arm is almost amputated. I was like, okay, almost amputated. Okay. You know, and I was like, you know, he's like, you know, your dad's talking, so it's fine, like it's great. I was like, okay, so wrap that up. At this point, we pull up, me and Pop pull up to the house. I'm calling Minnow to be like, yo, dad's in an accident, you know, this and that. He's like, okay, I'm coming. We get home, and Fala already called my mom, and my mom's like talking to him. He's like, yeah, what's wrong? But Fala still couldn't say it, so I said, Mom, just hang up the phone with Fala. And I, you know, tell him, I was like, Daddy was in an accident. She was like, okay, you know, right? And I was like, you know, accidents, it's car accidents, you know. Okay. I was like, yeah. But his arm was almost amputated, is what the police officer told me. And then, you know, she was like, what? Almost amputated? I was like, yeah. You know, we start crying, and then we have to wait for Nana to get home. As he gets, like, everyone just comes. You know, we get packed, and we head to Charlotte. At this time, Nana's best friend's husband, Nana's best friend lives in Charlotte, and the husband's a doctor. So he works at the same hospital my dad gets airlifted to. So we're in contact with them because my dad's not in the system yet, and it's a 3-hour drive from us, from Raleigh to Charlotte. So we're just trying to figure out, like, what's going on, to let him know that his family is coming, you know, stuff like that. So almost 30 minutes away, I'm talking to Kareem, which is Nana's best friend's husband. And I'm like, hey, you know, like, what's going on? He was like, you know, am I on speaker? I was like, no. He's like, so, like, what did the officer tell you? I was like, well, basically, he told me, you know, my dad was in an accident, and his arm was almost amputated. He was like, okay, well, your dad's arm was amputated. And I was like, you know, trying to be calm because I'm in the car. Like, I don't want to see my reaction. I'm driving too as well. So I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, it was amputated from, like, the beginning. I was like, okay. I said, we're 30 minutes out, so I will meet you there. He said, okay. I'll hang up the phone. And my mom's in the back, and me and Minnow are in the front, and my mom and Pa are in the back. So I'm like, wake up. I told my mom to wake up Pa, and Minnow was kind of sleeping too, so we told him to wake up. I was like, so I was talking to Kareem, and, you know, basically I told them, like, Dad's arm was amputated. And then my mom was like, just starts bawling. And, like, we all started bawling. And I'm like, you know, Mom, it's going to be okay. Like, it's just an amputation. Like, you know, he's not dead. Like, we got to see the bigger picture of this. So we get to the hospital. He just got out of recovery. And this is like 10 o'clock at night now. So, I mean, there was a lot of us that came down to Charlotte, actually, now I think about it. But we, me and my mom finally go up. I pull my mom up in the wheelchair, and we finally get up there. And my dad's sleeping because he's still, like, knocked off from the drugs. So when he eventually wakes up, like 5 minutes later while we're there, me and my mom are just crying. Mom gets up and, like, gives him a kiss. And then he just opens his eyes and smiles like nothing happened. The fact where I just stood there and I was like, you know, dropping tears. But at the same time, I was like, this is crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you smiling about? He's like, yo, don't cry. Like, I'm alive. And I mean, like, that's true, but you're missing a whole left arm. Like, you've had this arm for 58 years, honey. Like, that's a lot. And, like, just keep comforting us. It's okay. And it's like, oh, okay. And then, you know, eventually we're in Charlotte for 4 days. And to the fact that, like, where I even forgot my birthday. We forgot Mother's Day. So, because of my dad, we were able to, you know, it's an adjustment. Because, I mean, you have no arm, but, like, to know my dad is very hardworking. Like, he is always doing stuff. So, we get through that. We're like, okay, great. Done. Dad loses an arm. Yes, major setback. But we got this. That was May 3rd. Keep in mind, May 3rd. May 17th. I'm at work. now this internship has turned into a job, basically. That was my first week of work, actually. Chilling at work, minding my business. Went to lunch, came back after lunch, chilling on my phone, I think. I get this sharp pain in my lower quadrant. Almost like the pain I had when I first found out I was pregnant, but like milder. Like I thought. I was like, damn, I gotta poop. Let me get up and go. So I'm like, yo, Chantel, like I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Get up, go to the bathroom. Poop ain't coming out. It's just, so I just pee. So then I'm, chilling there a little bit on my phone, and I feel something coming out. I clench so hard, and I call my mom. I'm like, this better not be no blood clot. Like, are you serious right now? I'm 4 months pregnant. Like, there's no way I could be miscarriaging. So I clench myself, and I call my mom. I'm like, Ma, I feel something coming out of my vagina. She's like, Bento, whatever God does, it's fine. It's just the way it's supposed to be. So I was like, she's like, just let it out. So I just unclench, and then I feel something come out. Plop. I look up. I don't see anything. I just see like my pee and like a little splatter of blood in the toilet, but like nothing. So then I get up and go, and I'm like already crying. So I go back. I was working a midwife that day, so I went to midwife. All the midwives were like helping somebody. So then I went back to our sister place, and I go to this girl. I'm like, something came out my vagina, but I can't see. It's like water, I don't know. So she's like, okay, go to the room. And the doctor comes in. She's like, what's wrong? And I'm explaining to her, what's going on. She's like, okay, get you undressed. I'm getting undressed. And instantly as I'm getting undressed, it's like I'm peeing myself. Water is just coming down automatically. Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, water's just coming. So I'm like, I'm freaking out more. I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's not blood. Like, what is this? So then I, like, go to lay down, and she does a pap, and I see her taking out the surgical gloves, and I'm like, I'm getting offended. I'm like, what you trying to say? Like, why I need surgical gloves for? Like, what you trying to say? She's like, something wrong with my coochie or something. Like, y'all, come to find out, my water broke. Like, make it make sense. I'm 4 months pregnant. What do you mean my water broke? Like, huh? You need to get to the hospital. Okay, great. Yeah, my water broke. So I'm still not knowing anything about this. I'm like, okay. Call my mom. She said it out there. I was like, is it my water broke? Like, I don't know what to do. She's like, okay, go to the hospital. I'll meet you at the hospital. I was like, no, it's fine. Like, there's nothing we can really do. She's like, I'll meet you there. I didn't tell Elle because Elle was at work, and I didn't want to freak him out. I didn't tell anybody. So then I get to the hospital, I'm crying. I'm even telling the nurses, like, I'm like, my water broke. She's like, your water broke and you're 4 months pregnant? I'm like, yeah. Like, basically they didn't even believe me. I was like, it's already been confirmed. Not by you guys, but an OBGYN. Like, it's been confirmed by the doctor I work with. They were like, okay. Like, they didn't even, basically didn't believe it. So I was like, yeah. So, then the day goes on, my mom tells Nana, calls Edgy, and then Mata could barely even talk to me. She was just in so much distraught. So then we get a room, and he's like, well, we talked to the doctor that confirmed that your water break, and your water did break, and he came in, and he was like, at 4 months, there's nothing that we can do because the baby is basically not viable. The baby is, lungs haven't, even barely developed, and just all types of things. And I was just like crying, And then Mata gets there before Nana. And we're just there, and I'm like, and he's like, so what's gonna happen is later on tonight, I will check you again, and if the baby doesn't come out by then, I will induce you, and you will deliver this baby. Like, you're telling me I have to push this baby out, and he's not gonna even live? Yeah. So the reason why too also that I couldn't even, if the baby didn't come out, why they had to induce me was that it's risk of infection automatically once your water breaks, because that amniotic fluid is what protects the baby from any type of infection, protects me and the baby from any type of like infection. So that breaking, we're both, me and the baby, open to, you know, we're open to infection. So, you know, if I was, you know, like 5-6 months pregnant, then they would be open to like giving me antibiotics and waiting a week and checking me out. See, in a week, if I don't have an infection, let's try to get another week and keep the baby as long as they can. But because I'm 16 weeks, there's just nothing that can be done that would, you know, hold it. If my mom wasn't there, honestly, I would have been like, let's just keep the baby, you know, like, let's try it. You know, what's 10 weeks, you know? But if you think about it, 10 weeks is a long time. So, yeah, later on that day, around 7 p.m., I went into the ultrasound. Baby Henry still had that heartbeat. He was like, yeah, y'all niggas ain't about to take me out. And I was so, like, optimistic. I was like, yeah, that's my nigga right there. And by the time, like, 10 o'clock, by the ultrasound, I started bleeding, actually. Like, that's when I realized I was even bleeding, was when I put my pants down for the ultrasound and then realized I was bleeding. So at that point, I'm also freaking out because I'm like, okay, I'm bleeding. So this is actually getting real. So then I go, around 10 o'clock, he comes in and they induce me to open up my cervix to get baby out, basically, or to get it started. I start contracting. I was contracting so bad that they were like, do you want epidural? And I was like, nah. If people at 9 months can do this without epidural, I damn sure can do this at 4 months. But I was in hella pain. The whole time, I'm just like, this is crazy, you know, this is ridiculous. But, you know, life is just how it works. So they induced me at 10 o'clock. And Alice with me the whole time. My mom's in Nana and Mata leave because my mom was like, there's just no point in them being here because they wouldn't allow them to be there anyway when I was delivering, so there's no point. So basically, it was my mom, Mata, Nana, and Kenneth that were like in the OBED. So it was just me and Elle in the room. They said my mom can come once delivery time. So fast forward, 10 o'clock they do induce me. So around 1 o'clock or so, I was like, yeah, you know, I miss my mom. By that time she was there, Pa came, so she was there with Pa. So I was like, you know, you switch out with Ma and let me just see her. So she comes in and I'm like, you know, talking to her, and she's like, I need to go pray. I was like, well then, just take out your kala and then go do ablution and then come back. And then, literally, I'm like, Ma, I feel something. And I literally turn on I sleep on my side. I literally turn on my back and boom, one push, this baby is out. So then she calls the nurse, and the nurse just called the doctor, and he's just there. Obviously I couldn't see. I'm like trying to look, but I can't see. So, yeah, he's there, and I'm like, Mom, what does he look like? You know, he came out fully formed, all 10 fingers and toes, you know, 10 fingers, 10 toes, you know, he was asleep like this, little half a pound baby, but he came out formed. So his whole body was formed, but obviously like his insides, organs and stuff weren't formed as much. But it was so cute because like he was, I guess in a way, like the way I was asleep on my side before I delivered, that's the same way he was asleep. So I thought that was really cute. And then when they cut the umbilical cord, at this point Elle was there too, because he missed that like one part, but then they called him and he came. So once they cut the umbilical cord, they're like, you want to see him? And then they showed me him, and I'm like, oh, no, wait, let's wait. because, you know, like, it was too much of a rush. So they do all the good stuff, you know, deliver the placenta, check me and all that good stuff. And I'm just laying there. And then they bring him over, and he's just the cutest little thing ever. He had a big head, which we already knew he was going to have a big head because from the ultrasound pictures from months ago. And he was long. He looked just like Aisha. I swear he looked like Aisha. I don't know, like, if my love for her, like, transcended, like, my own child, because y'all know I love Aisha. So he was, like, skinny and long, just like Aisha. You know, I'm short, but, like, my grandparents were tall, and L, too, like, his family, they got tall people, so my baby was going to be a tall one, and that was cute. It's like he waited for my mom to, like, be in here just for him to make this grand entrance. So I thought that was cute. You know, through that whole experience, it was a lot to unravel. It was. Because I was like, this makes no sense. But I accepted it, you know, and I was out of work for a week. And then I went back. And being able to talk about it and process it really helped. Even, like, having patients when they came in and told me, like, oh yeah, how'd you throwing up? Has it went away? And it's like, yeah, it's went away because I had to deliver it because my water broke. And then I'll start crying with the patients, and then we stop. And they really appreciated me, like, telling them the story. And I appreciate them letting me tell them this story because it's helping me process it, being able to talk about it. Because not a lot of people talk about miscarriages. A lot of people talk about stillborns, and it's a thing, and it should be talked about because you don't want to keep it balled up. You don't. It hurts. Share your story, cry about it. You know, it really helps. Even when you feel like it doesn't help, it helps. And there are people out there that will listen. There are people out there that will go through. That will go through this. You know, I never, like, joined the whole, you know, clubs, New Mommy Club and all that stuff because I had my family and I was good enough with that. And even after losing baby, I was okay with it. But there are people you can talk to, people that will actually listen. And it don't even have to be psychiatrists, just regular normal people that will actually listen to you. Yeah, they might have not gone through what you've gone through, but they will sympathize with you and try to help you. And me just being able to talk about it and no one, like, judging me for talking about it, it helped a lot. And my mom being there for me for it helped a lot. Because y'all know my mama is like, she's my everything. So her being able to tell me it's going to be okay, it helped. I expected in my head when I first found out I was pregnant that miscarriage is a thing. I just didn't expect it at 4 months. I know you're never in the clear until you have the baby, but I still never expected it, you know? So that was a very tough one to swallow. But I think what was even tougher to swallow was what happened a month and 1 day after having Henry. We had went to Charlotte June 15th-ish or 16th, whatever that Wednesday was, for my dad's appointment at the amputee clinic. It was me, my mom, Ibo, I don't know why I'm talking about his government name, Ibo and me. It was a great trip, and I vlogged a lot for that trip, actually. Like, Ibo did, like, and my mom, like, they vlogged that whole trip. Because we went to Charlotte, from Raleigh to Charlotte, and then we had to go to Pennsylvania that weekend, too. So we drove from Charlotte to Pennsylvania. So it was a good vlog. I had edited my video and everything, like, it was great. Fast forward to that Saturday, June 18th. Me and my mom were chilling in a hotel room, you know, minding our business. We went and got Ibo because he wanted to go to the pool. So, and Alasan, so we got them, and we came back, went to the pool, and Elle. We went to the pool, and we got in the hot tub, and, oh God. We got into the hot tub, and my mom was chilling. She was watching us. I was like, Mom, you should come in because, you know, it's nice. The water's gonna be nice for your, you know, joints and stuff. She's like, I really was like, yeah. So she went to the bathroom, came back, took out her mofa and came in. And she was like, yeah, this is hot. And I remember like she was trying to sit down, and on the thing she was like, if I let go, my legs are gonna go up. And I was like, no, ma, you just gotta put your back to the wall and like you'll be fine, your legs won't go up. So she's like, so then she went to the stairs and sat there, and then we went to the pool because it got really hot. So the boys were already in the pool, and I because the pool was really hot, I left my mom in a hot tub. Then pool was freezing cold, so she was like, want me to join you? I was like, yeah. So we went down the steps of the pool together, and she was like, yeah, it's cold. I was like, yeah. So we went to the steps, and she sat on the steps with Ebo, and I started like teaching myself how to swim because I'm like, I don't know how to swim. And she's like, you better stop because your hands are gonna be tired by the time you get to work on Monday. I was like, you're right. So then I stopped, and then just chilling in the pool. She was splashing water on me, and we were talking about if we were gonna go to Busch Gardens this summer. She's like, no, let's just wait because we're going to Gambia. It's already an expense. And we were like, okay. So then another family comes in, and you know, she just gets up and walks over to the hot tub, and she is 1-2 steps in, and then she just collapsed. As soon as she collapsed, like we watched her go into the, you know, the pool, and as soon as she collapsed, Ebo goes in, like she was barely in the water for like even 2 seconds. Ebo goes in, holds her up. Elle goes running. I go running. I don't even know how I got from the pool to the hot tub, but I'm there, and she just looks so unconscious, like she's seizing. And you know, we tried to take her out the pool, and it took a while to take her out the pool, the hot tub. Once we took her out, she was still even halfway in the pool. I mean, we started CPR because she was unconscious. CPR, and then to what it looked like, I thought she started breathing because she was. And then I'm like trying to get my phone. I tell Ebo and Alasan, I'm like, you guys go upstairs, go get changed, because Ebo was freaking out. I was like, you guys go get change. And I get my phone to call 911. My phone doesn't want to work for some reason. I see the fire alarm. I push the fire alarm. And then she's out again, unconscious. I was like, babe, where are they? You know, like just in distraught. I'm like, you know, calm down, like it's okay. Meantime, I'm telling my mom, you're gonna be okay, mom. You're gonna be okay, like it's okay. It's okay, you're doing great. You're doing great. The EMS come in, and you know, they start doing everything for her, you know, the regular whatever. And so I tell Ebo to call my dad, and I was like, no, call Amadou. So he calls Uncle Amadou, and then my dad, they get there eventually, and you know, so then we all head to the hospital, and we're sitting there in the family room, and you know, just waiting. I'm like, you know, I need to show you guys my mom's medication list because she's on a lot of medication. You know, she has lupus. You know, just all these things. So they're like not being shortly. I'm like, okay, just chilling, waiting. Nana's texting me because she's back home in Raleigh. She's like, what happened to mom? I'm like, yeah, girl, she just fell. Because I honestly don't. I know she's not. I know that she's breathing, like she's not breathing on her own. But just, you know, that's all I could say. She felt, I don't want to like give false, you know, and it just couldn't handle all that talking right now. So then the ED doctor comes in, and he's like, I have some terrible news for you guys. And we're like, your mom was pronounced, you know, she was pronounced dead. And the tears just dropped. Like, tears are dropping. Fala drops to his knees. Elle is like squatted, and And then father comes to me, and I'm like rubbing him, rubbing L. I'm talking to ED doctor, and I'm like, yeah, my dad's there, my uncle is there, like we're just all there. And life just flashed at our eyes. Minnow was sitting there like tears are like she was pronounced dead. And to think that those breaths that she took that I thought like basically she was breathing after she was unconscious, if I didn't know those were like, you know, her last breath, like life was being taken away from her. So she had been dead like before she even got into the ambulance. And that that was tough. I you know, and then you know, then it calls me like, where's mom? And I just couldn't. So I passed over to my dad, and the first thing he says is, she lived a good life. And then it is just screaming. And there's the only one home with the kids. So then I immediately, you know, I'm trying to think in my head, who can I call so they can go to Manny's house? Calling people. So then I call, eventually call, you know, Auntie Georgia, she didn't answer. I called Marta, she didn't answer. I called Kenneth, she answered. I said, let me talk to your mom. I talked to her, and I'm like, my mom is, you know, my mom is dead. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you need to go to Nana's house because she's home alone with the kids. And she's like, okay. And then Marta calls me. She's like, Binta, what are you talking? I was like, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, all I can tell you is my mom. Like, she's dead. She said, what me mom? We're talking about like, what mom? Like, your no, like just like that. And I'm like, yeah, like just crying on the phone, and it just was such a shock. Like everything happened so fast. I called 911 at 7:54. Okay, on her death certificate it says, you know, time of death 9 o'clock. All that, you know, that it was a lot to swallow at that moment. And we were in Pennsylvania on a family trip. If someone were to tell my mom before then that when you leave this house you won't come back, or when you leave your grandkids you won't see them again, she'd probably like, she'd be like, you're crazy. You know, I would have never thought that I'd be the last person, you know, she would with. She has 6 kids, you know, like that's tough. And I'm hoping all she heard was, Mom, you're gonna be okay. And I hate that she only heard that. I wish I could have told her more. I wish I could have done more to save her. And you know, it was tough calling family, letting them know that, you know, their friend is gone, their sister is gone, their daughter is gone. You know, that was the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. And I thought in May, my calling people to tell them my dad lost his arm was tough. And to think that having the baby was tough just for my mom to finish it out and, you know, pass away. That was the last straw for us in a way. But I will say she's left a great legacy. She raised us in a way that I am proud to be raised, and I know she's proud of us. I wish she could see more of us. I wish we could talk to her more. Cause my mom was just 54. She just turned 54 on June 10th and died 8 days later, you know? My mom loved life. So all of that, it like just makes you think like, wow. She left a very great legacy. Her funeral had so many people, and I'm talking like all across the country that came to it, because we buried her here in Raleigh, but so many people came, and it showed us that like she's touched a lot of people's lives, and I hate that everyone had to come together for this. And you would think that it was just me, like my mom, her 6 kids, or you know, her grandkids, the people here in the house that lost her, but it's so many more people that lost my mom. It's not even just her kids and her husband and her grandkids. So many people lost her, and her funeral showed that she was loved, and it was beautiful, but it was tough. I would say, because y'all know my mama was my best friend, and anything my mama would say, if anybody was like, yeah, you look cute, you look great, and my mama said no, I'm sticking with my mama, because she was just that person for me. Like, anybody could tell me, yeah, no, but if my mom said it, I didn't have a choice, I went with it, you know. We had plans, you know, to go to Gambia. She had just bought her ticket the night before she died. Fala had bought their ticket for her to go to Gambia in December. You know, so we had plans, and now she's in heaven with Henry. Elle hates that name, but that's the name that we stuck with just because I didn't want to use his actual name. You know, we miss her every day, and we pray for her every day. And this past Monday, it made a month since she's passed away, and even that, like, it was tough. Honestly, May and June, I think for a very long time, will be very tough months for us because of all the events. May 3rd, Nana's birthday, was when my dad had his accident. You know, May 17th, I lost a baby. June 18th, my mom passes away. June 10th is my mom's birthday. June 7th is Aisha's birthday. June 30th is Papa's birthday. You know, June 6th is Mo's birthday. June 2nd is Fala's birthday. Like, we have so many great events in the May and June month that all have been just affected by this. And I know for a while it's gonna hurt. All events that happen the next year is just gonna be like, wow, she's not here. But I have to, you know, we have to believe that there's always a reason for why things like this happen, and at the end of the day, there's no choice. This will either make us or break us. And obviously I know it's gonna make us, like, we're gonna make it. It's just hard. I don't know how people lose a loved one. This hurts. Like, I lost one loved one before, but like, and that even hurt me till this day. Like, I still think about her. But this right here, another real. And I don't know how people go through this every day. I don't know how people younger than me go through this. Evo hasn't graduated high school yet, and my mom's like, you know, she's gone. She won't see Evo graduate. She won't see the rest of us, none of our kids, you know. There's a lot she won't see, and I guess you could say she's spiritually, but we won't be able to share that with her, so that hurts. But I know she's not in pain anymore, and she's hoping she's doing okay. She hasn't came to my dream yet, which is kind of selfish, because why you not coming to see me? Because I need to see you, like. But then again, I'm a scary cat, so maybe that's why. But yeah, so that's our household rundown for the half of the year. I will say that the moral of this past 6 months for me and my family
life is very unpredictable. One day you're chilling, you go to work, and the next, one day morning you're gonna work, then you're coming back home, and then boom, something happens. You could be doing anything. Your next minute is so not planned. We don't know what's happening in our next minute. So with that being said, I think with life being so unpredictable, anything you want to do in life, go ahead and do it. Anything you feel like you can't do, try it and see if you really can't do it. Don't say I'm gonna wait till this time and I'll do it, or I'll wait till this time. And don't prolong anything, because you just never know. And I know for sure, I want people to tell people when I pass, like how my dad told about my mom. She lived a good life. I want that, because I want to know when I die, at least I know I lived a good life. Even though it'll feel like I didn't, I know I did. And doing this, after my mom died and all this tragedy happened, 2 things I wanted. I wanted to get back home when we were in Pennsylvania. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is be home now. I don't want to be even at work. All I want to do is be at home. When I leave the house, I'm ready to come back home, because all I want to do is be home right now. And YouTube. Literally. I've been waiting to do this. I just had to wait, My uncle, his family just left last week or the week before. So I had to wait for all that. And then my camera had broke when we were on that trip. So I had to, I didn't even get that fixed. I know my mom talking shit about me right now. Bought a new camera just yesterday. So I've been wanting to come back to the tube. And I know it feels like it's too early. And it is too early. Because I know I'm still in shock. I know my whole family, we're still in shock. I'm not healed. For me, I'm not healed. And I'm not okay. I'm not. It's been too much. But being able to talk about it is helping me. And having people around me that lets me talk about it and lets me cry about it helps. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can do, because it's just inevitable. It's life. It happens. So being able to sit here and talk to you guys about it is helping me. And being able to go outside and talk about it and share the story helps. To my dad, to my baby, my mom, everything. Just talking about it helps. My mom was definitely the bomb. Hers just flattened us out, and she will be missed every day. She sits in my conscience rent-free. Anytime I do anything, she's there saying this and that. I don't know when that's gonna leave, because girl, come on now. Since you did it, hold on, can you at least leave my conscience? Because it's hard. But also, my mom being gone has really humbled me in a way, and it made me grow up. I grew up fast, and I think if you ask anybody from my family, you realize that. I was grown, but just in other aspects, I've grown up fast. So I guess in a way, her being gone has really, it made me climb up and be grown. I just hate that she had to leave for me to be that way, but everything happens for a reason, so we thank God. But tell your loved ones you love them. Because even if you don't want to tell them, Mama always said one thing. Her boys every day will tell them that they love her. Every day. Her girls, we never really did it that much. But she knew we loved her, So that wasn't a big deal. So yeah, just always tell your loved ones you love them. Even if you can't say it directly, kind of say it indirectly, just so they know. Give them a hug. All I want now is a hug from people, because it helps, and it's what gets me through.
I am coping in my own way, and hopefully being on YouTube would help me even more cope, because girl, BB is struggling, and I have the greatest support. We have great support from all over. It's just, darn, this is tough, but we are making it. We are, and I know we will. It's just going, like they say, time heals. And I kind of hate when they say time heals, because then again, time wasn't in our favor. Make it make sense. Time heals, but time wasn't in our favor with our mom. So I can't believe I'm making a video like this, but that's basically it of our rundown. Please, if any of you guys want to talk, let me know. Like, I'm here to talk. I'm open. I'm very open book, so don't worry about that. I do want to say thank you for everyone that has reached out to me to share their condolences. I really appreciate it. That in itself even helped, just to show that people care. Y'all are the best. Thank you for keeping up with me. I'm going to stay consistent. I have a whole planner XL. I wrote everything down. So in August, get ready for BB, because we're coming back, and I know my mom would want me to go back to regular, and she was very supportive of me doing YouTube because she know I liked it. So we're gonna be back, and we ain't playing, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Please drop down anything in the comments. Reach out to me. I got my Instagram, Snapchat. Email me. Like, I'm here to talk, and honestly, I want to talk. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, reach out, because I will talk your head off, because that's all I can do is right now is just talk about things. I don't care who you are. We can just chit chat, just to even make me feel better. Even if I do all the talking, it'll make me feel better just to talk about it. So you guys let me know what you think, and we will be back next week for our weekly vlogs. Thank you.